It's here, the brand new Stilo ST6, a premium entry-level helmet that is lighter, stronger, and more user-friendly than its predecessors. Let's get into it. Hey team, it's John from Project Motoring. Today I'm excited to show off this new line of helmets that carries with it a new certification safety rating. If you're buying a helmet for circuit racing here in the US in 2025, you're kind of in a flux year between those certifications and getting the maximum amount of time and usage out of your helmet. But have no fear, we're going to go over all of that in this video. But before we get into the gritty details, let's go over the basics for the uninitiated. Stilo is an Italian company who says they make 100% of their products in northern Italy in a town called Bergamo, which shares an airport with Milan. Since opening their doors in 1999, they have been one of the premium helmets that, while not cheap, are still relatively affordable, providing a decent value for the high quality that you're getting. The big splash was in 2008 when the ST4 hit the market and started integrating features that were previously add-ons to helmets that may not have been in line with some of those safety regulations like earmuffs, built-in comms, and some other accessories. In 2014, the mega hit ST5 debuts an evolution of the ST4. This helmet was used by everyone from your local mechanic, your favorite dentist, at their local track days, to current F1 drivers like Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll. The ST5 was, and still is, super modular, and you can configure it with different ports, cooling, aero, communicators, drink tubes, the list goes on. After over 10 years of production though, it is being phased out for the new ST6. I spent some time with Stilo brand manager Preston Folkstad at PRI in December of 2024, and we chatted a bit about the new ST6 and confirmed the ST5 is dead and that it will not be brought up to the new FIA or SNELL certifications. So what is the ST6? It is an entry-level helmet that comes in either the GT style with integrated side pods for mounting or installing accessories, or the Formula variety that's more sleek without those pods for better airflow in an open cockpit. Structurally, and due to the FIA 8859 2024 and pending SNELL SA 2025 ratings, the ST6 tests out at 14% better energy management and 5% better absorption of impact energy. What this means is that in these tests, these helmets can only transfer upwards of 275 Gs to the wearer, which is down from 300 Gs, meaning that the helmets absorb more energy and are safer. Without going too in-depth into the different certifications in this video, these numbers are in line with the new stricter FIA 8859 2024 rating and the forthcoming SNELL SA 2025 regulations. The first thing we'll look at is what we see out of. The ST6 now has a revised visor layout and construction material. Going for the safety specs first, the visor tests out at about 60% more resistant to impact as per the ballistics test, sustaining an impact from an item up to 240 meters per second. The visor also now has two locking positions, one a fully closed variety and the second one being slightly open but still covering the entire face for ventilation. It does take a bit getting used to, especially with your gloves on, to find where you need to be, but it quickly becomes second nature. In fact, the whole mechanism of the visor has changed, as Stilo has redesigned the pivot points and visor rotation sliders to be smoother and harder to get jammed up. The eye port has been reworked and opened up to give wider downward view, which makes things like putting on seat belts or seeing gauges a bit easier. A lot of you know that when you're strapped in, you put your chin down, you can't always see what you're going to do, so that's a big help. The biggest win for any Stilo fans is that Stilo now uses an injection visor technology that allows you to clean the visor with regular water-based products. Everyone knows that in the ST4 and the ST5 you had to use a special material in order to keep the anti-fog on the visor. Not the case anymore. Now you can use any regular cleaning product available for visors, like say from our friends at Molecule. Preston from Stilo mentioned that the big change for the Stilo helmets is using their own autoclaves in-house and allowing them to really refine and update their process. Now autoclaves are the giant presses that form the fiberglass or carbon fiber into the helmet shape. They are extremely expensive and there isn't a lot of them in the world. So being able to fully control your own process is a huge deal because you don't have to pay for R&D time on someone else's machine. With that, This leads to a stronger and lighter helmet. The ST6 composite is up to 11% lighter, and the carbon is up to 10% lighter than its respective predecessor. Preston says that a size 59 formula should weigh in at about 3 pounds. The helmet we have here just happens to be a size 59, but it is the GT helmet with side pods that do add some marginal weight. The weight for a base ST6 59 with no accessories weighed in at 3.47 pounds. It's not bad. My personal medium RAW helmet with the comms and drink tube installed is 3.98 pounds, including the wrap. While it has more in it, the comm system doesn't weigh half a pound, so the new Stilo composite is still pretty light, and certainly safer than any model made to the old regulations, specifically my SA 2015. This weight saving can be attributed to the design of the helmet, as Stilo has tweaked the overall design. The ST6 still has 6 vent holes on the front, like the ST5, that have been repositioned, angled, and resized to increase ventilation and prevent fogging. As someone who wears glasses in my helmet, better airflow is always better to prevent not so much the fogging of my visor, but my glasses. It doesn't stop there. The inside of the helmet was also tweaked right down to how the cheek pads now interlocked and are made of a more flexible material. The ST6 expands on the ST5's modularity in that the cheek pads now have channels in the material for your microphone, water tubes, air hookups, or even RFID tags. This is way better than just shoving them in there like before, and leads for a more comfortable fit and better working of the actual accessory. So we have new visors, new interior, new vents, new cheek pads, but the biggest thing about the ST6 is the amount of helmet shell sizes there are available. What you may or may not know is that although helmets come in different sizes, that doesn't mean the outer shell is all the same, and the inner padding is just thicker or thinner. No. Generally, manufacturers have 2 shell sizes, small and large, and they make a range of sizes, like small to medium in one and large to extra large in another, or whatever fits best for them. But the Stilo has changed the mold for that, literally. While the ST5 offered just 2 shell sizes, small and large, the ST6 lineup now features 4 shell sizes. The outgoing ST5 small shell would have included the extra small variant 54 to a version of their large in the 59. Then the 60, which ended up being the large plus, and bigger. The ST6 doubles the shell sizes, with the extra small shell being 54-55, small being 57 and 58, the medium shell being the 59 and 61, and the large shell being 63 and 64. It is important to go over Stilo's new sizes and differences. Besides the new shells, there are also different sizes. While both the ST5 and the ST6 have 8 size options, it's a different lineup. The ST5 had 54 extra small, 55 small, 57 medium, 59 large, 60 large plus, 61 extra large, 63 double XL, and 64 triple XL. You'll note that there was 2 larges. But if you understand that the 59 fell on the smaller shell and the 60 on the larger shell of the ST5s, as we explained, it could be a different fit. Also, in previous helmets, Stilo was known for being a bit tight fit and would actually advertise towards that, often saying to go up a size compared to others. I can personally confirm this, as I am a 57 or 58 medium in just about every helmet I've tried on, which you can imagine is quite a few. But for Stilo, I was a 59, which would have been called a large. It was actually the largest of the small shell, as I noted. The ST6 tracks more normally in terms of sizing. This 59 here, it's too big for me, and is back to being a true large, which is something that Preston had mentioned when we chatted. The 4 shells idea helped create this, and as such, the ST6 sizing chart reflects this. And the extra small shell, it has a 54 as double extra small, and 55 as extra small. And the small shell has a 57 small and a 58 medium. After that, we bump up the large shell, with the 59 being a true large, a 61 XL, a 63 double XL, and 64 triple XL. Did you catch the difference? There is no more large plus 60 size. Since the 59 is a true large, is now on the large shell instead of the medium, we can do a size 58, which slots in between the 57 and 59 sizes that carry over. With a slightly different fit, this actually makes sense. Even though it sounds confusing, it'll end up being more streamlined when you're ordering, especially if you're coming from another brand. But you're not coming from another brand now, are you? You've got a Stilo now, maybe. So a lot has changed. Does this mean you need all new accessories? No. In fact, the top air accessories and comm systems from the ST5 will still fit. But all the aero bits, the visors, the cheek pads, those are a unique shape and they won't carry over. While this can be expected, it is nice to know that some of your bits from your old helmet can be carried over, especially the ones that connect to your car like the air and comms. And you don't have to double up on everything. With that overview being done, there's also some new versions of it available. For the first time, you can get the ABP, or Advanced Ballistics Protection Helmet, which has additional frontage protection from, you guessed it, projectiles, and the FIA 8859 rating, which we call the entry rating, and not just a significantly more expensive 8860 Advanced rating. So your formal guys can rejoice in some savings there. Of course, there is the higher rated 8860, the carbon fiber version of basically everything we mentioned so far, as well as the carbon zero, which is insanely light. The range carries over with the basic structure to the offshore line, and lots of the same technology and methods that we talked about are used in their open-face WRC rally helmets. Should you buy one in 2025? This is a topic that comes up a lot with us as the people are tracking the Snell SA 2025 ratings coming out, and everyone's concerned that if they buy a 2020 helmet, they're going to get gypped out of a few years of certification. I'm going to reference our other video here where we sit down with Snell at PRI to discuss what the changeover means, but here are the highlights. It's the event organizer that sets the tech requirements for any event. If they say it's okay to use a leather helmet, then have at it. But the overall consensus we see across the country is organizers will accept a Snell rating for 10 years. This means that your SA 2015 won't be accepted after the SA 2025 certification takes effect, which isn't until October 1st, 2025. So any SA 2020 helmet will theoretically be good until whenever the SA 2030 helmet regulations comes out, if it does. It also means the SA 25 helmets can't go on sale until the same October 1st, 2025 release. So do you buy one now and short yourself some years of certification? If you wear your helmet more than a few times a year, you'll likely need a helmet in 6 years or less anyway. I find that helmets are usually ready for replacement by year 4, 5, or 6, and you should be looking at new ones. If you're looking at an $1,100 or more helmet, you're probably using it a fair amount. If you're looking at $1,100 or more helmet and you're not using it regularly, you're probably not concerned about having to replace it in 6 years versus 10 financially. If either one of these are you, buy now, as the rating change won't matter for how you're using it. However, if you want to spend a little more of your budget on the helmet, and you're still cautious about the timeline you get out of it, and I know some people go, hey, I take great care of my helmet, I keep it out of the sun, it's clean. The ST6 does have an ace up its sleeve though. That is, it's dual certed with the FIA 8859 2024 certification. At the time of this filming in January of 25, there were only 18 models made by 6 manufacturers for the 2024 rated helmets. Bell was the first and has 5 total models. Sparco second and has 4. And Stilo third but has 6 models. The honorable mentions are Stan 21, OMP, and Aero with 1 each. But their helmets aren't even offered in a full size range. That means that Stilo is 1/3 of the 8859 2024 market. So what does this mean? It means that even though it is a SA 2020 helmet, it meets the new 2024 FIA rating that nearly matches or exceeds the requirements of the upcoming SA 2025 ratings. Also, FIA ratings come out on an as-needed basis and not a strict timeline, and are often every 7 to 10 years. This means that even though you were buying an SA 2020 helmet and the ST6, the new FIA certification is actually the newer and more stringent requirement, and tech inspectors and scrutineers can use that certification to carry it, meaning you're not getting an old new helmet. Obviously, this only matters if you're concerned that you need a new helmet before or after 2030. Pro tip, you probably will anyway, but in any of the scenarios I just pointed out, you're safe to buy the ST6 now. Okay, that's it. Did we miss anything? Did we get something wrong? Let us know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell, do whatever all the cool YouTubers are suggesting to do to help us grow the channel. It really helps. As always, you can find this for sale at projectmothering.com, and if you have questions, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. Thanks to our friends at Stilo, Beth Ann, and Preston for helping me get this info out. And thanks to all of you for watching. See you in the paddock.